Hola, I'm Wanda Colon, and this is Spanglish Cooking. I'm super excited today because we're going to make Mexican chili verde, but Spanglish style. This is my friend George.
That would be me. Hi, everyone.
George is a great cook. His specialty is Mexican food.
Because I'm Mexican.
Exactly. Mira.
Yeah.
And he gave me his Mexican chili verde recipe, and I, in turn, changed it up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
So you'll see what's going to happen to that.
All right, let's...
But these are all of our fresh ingredients because Spanglish Cooking is about using fresh ingredients you could find at any local grocery stores.
A must.
And what's great about using fresh ingredients is before you even start cooking, it smells riquísimo here.
It smells delicious here,
It smells really good.
Yeah.
So let's get started and let's start cooking right away.
Well...
Do you want to hand me the tomatoes?
I will, but first I have a question. What the beep is that with this tomato? What happened to tomatillos?
Okay, I knew you were going to ask that, so let me just tell you right off the bat that I am using tomatoes because they were easier to find. Like I said, Spanglish Cooking is all about ingredients that you could find at any local grocery store. And I have to tell you, tomatillos are sometimes really difficult to find. So hand me the rest of the tomatoes.
You know what? I'm going to reluctantly hand them to you, but I'm going to trust you that this is going to be an awesome recipe.
Okay, so you already started roasting our corn.
I have to, and it's going to pop, so it's going to make
I love it.
You want to get it to the point where you just want to sort of caramelize the top part.
Perfect.
To bring out the sugar in the corn.
Well, that's definitely a super cool technique. So you can talk about that. I'm just going to cube my tomatoes and put them in my pot of hot water.
Okay.
And then we're going to boil them.
And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and roast the peppers.
Oh, perfect. Look at you. We're going to get this done fast.
I'm efficient. You got me started.
Well, I'm going to put my last tomato in there. And the only reason I'm cubing them is so that they boil a little bit faster.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Put the lid on.
So this is going.
And that's going. I'm going to just get rid of my trash over here.
Well, I'm going to continue to do the other peppers as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I want to get them to a point where they're charred, but not burnt.
And I see that, you know what I love, is that you're not using tongs. You're just right in there with your hands.
Look, the spirit of my grandmother's in me. In Mexico, we don't have tongs. We use our hands.
Mira, it's not tongs, it's tongues, okay?
Less tongues.
Tongues are, that's another show.
Right? Whatever it is,
tongues
just
is what
your
I
tongue.
wear.
If you'd like, you can go ahead and start chucking this off the cob.
Perfect.
All right, while I finish the other corn. And at the same time, I'm going to move these peppers over here because...
Chocha is hot.
Chocha.
We have 2 ears of corn that we just roasted. They smell delicious. They were popping and everything. So basically, I just want to cut off the corn from the cob. And they're not completely cooked. They still feel a little hard, but that's okay because they'll continue to cook in the sauce. Well, look at the corn. The corn looks fantastic.
Beautiful.
It's nice and caramelized. I just want to taste one.
Well, if you're going to taste one, I'm going to taste one.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't it sweet?
That's so
delicious.
delicious.
I'm telling you, right?
That's so delicious. Like, I could swear I could just put a little bit of salt and eat this right by itself.
Mexicans got it right.
Okay, so the tomatoes are boiling nicely.
Okay.
So we just need to wait for that to sweat. Let's get all of the rest of our ingredients ready. All right, George?
Yes.
Our tomatoes are ready.
Good.
And you want to cook them until they're fully soft, fully cooked.
Fully cooked.
All right?
Yes.
And the next thing we're going to do is blend the tomatoes, the garlic, and the parsley to create our sauce.
Yes.
Right?
And then shortly after that, what we're going to do is we're going to saute the sauce.
Perfect.
Or, some people say we're going to fry the sauce, but, for weight purposes, we don't say that. We're going to saute.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to throw the tomatoes in the blender.
Right? And you're putting some of the water in there?
Just some, just to get it going. So we don't want a dry sauce. We want somewhat of a semi-wet sauce, right?
You know what I love about inviting people over to cook?
Don't tell me. I already know. Leave it to a Mexican to do all the work, right?
Yes. I'm not done
Okay. So if you want to go ahead and put the garlic in here.
Okay.
And if you want to put the salt.
Put that in the blender.
Right. And never trust a Mexican that doesn't like garlic.
And then we have our parsley. It's not cilantro.
Ay, Dios mío, here we go again. Okay, a ver.
It's not cilantro. This is another thing that's very Spanglish. I've gotten emails with people who don't really like the taste of cilantro.
Right.
So flat leaf Italian parsley is a really great substitute because it has a really nice peppery taste to it.
Got it.
It smells delicious.
Beautiful.
And how much of this? Pretty much the whole thing.
Pretty much the whole thing.
Right?
Okay. And what you want to do is you want to get the the sauce is sort of like a smooth puree. It can be a little chunky. Do you mind handing me that fork?
Yep.
Because I want to make sure that this is smooth but yet chunky. So you can say that's a good consistency.
That's a nice consistency.
Yeah,
So,
it can go a little smoother, but this is good.
so let's set that aside, and then
Beautiful.
let's get our peppers and onions ready and the chicken ready.
Yes.
All right. All right, so I'm getting my pan ready for the chicken. I put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there.
Great.
Does that sound good?
That sounds good for
I
starters.
want
Right.
the pan to get nice and hot.
Well, I'm going to salt the flour, or add a little salt to the flour.
Okay.
Basically, all I'm going to do is dust the cutlets, the chicken cutlets. And okay, what I've done is I've taken the breast and I've cut them on a bias. So if this is like, if my palm is
Right.
the breast, what I've done is that I just cut them on a bias, creating these cutlets.
Creating really beautiful medallions.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So all you need to do is just really lightly dust the cutlets. And
Take
then,
off the excess.
Exactly.
Okay.
And why are we doing this, you say? Or maybe you should tell me.
And then what we're going to do once you have that done is I'm going to give them a quick sear just to lock in all the juices. All right, I'm going to take my chicken and put it in my hot pan. You can hear it's nice and hot. You want to make sure that it's nice and hot. And I'm going to sear this meat probably just for 1 or 2 minutes on each side because they will cook in the sauce later. Right now, it's all about searing the meat and locking in the flavors. What are you doing, George?
Well, I took the initiative to start peeling the peppers.
Okay, perfect.
The next thing we're going to do is we're going to seed and devein the peppers. And this is what I mean. Like, you can see how the husk just kind of peels off. And that's what you want. So also, by roasting the peppers, it leaves a really nice smoky flavor. I'm going to go ahead and dice up the... And I'm not really going to dice them up. I'm going to leave them in like maybe
a rough
an inch,
chop.
like maybe an inch or so, in
Okay.
length, just to give it texture.
I'm going to take my chicken out.
So what I'm going to do is just cut the onion on a bias, creating like a little half moon shape. Okay,
Okay, George, our pot is nice and hot.
we're ready. All right.
So we want to make sure it's in high heat. Going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Mm-hmm. And
if
we
I
want
may?
to put, yes, please.
Okay.
The onions. Ah, beautiful. You want to make sure and use high heat so that it makes the onions sweat a lot quicker. And we want to make sure that they're a little bit on the translucent side.
All right, may
Do
I?
it, yep.
All right, let's do this. Ay, qué rico.
Oh, it smells so good. Delicioso. So the next step is to add the bay leaf.
Yes, definitely.
And what's really cool about bay leaf, it's one little leaf will add a nice
lot of flavor.
aroma and flavor to your dish, but you do want to make sure and remove the bay leaf when we're finished.
I can tell you guys right now, it just smells so good. I can dive in there and just suck it up with a straw.
smells delicious.
It smells really good.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, Wanda, I'm going to be somewhat of a believer
I
in
know,
your
it's-
Spanglish
it's-
version of Chile Verde.
It smells very authentic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very authentic.
All right. A little bit of sugar.
Yes, and a little bit of sugar just to cut the acid of the tomatoes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing we want to do is put some salt, my favorite.
Your favorite, right?
So I'm going to put, I would say that's a good couple of teaspoons of salt right there. We
Right.
might add a little bit more, but salt is all about your own personal flavor and
Right.
taste.
So at this point, I would lower the flame, just the heat down to a simmer,
Okay.
and let it just cook for about 3 minutes.
George, I can't wait. It smells so good. I can't wait to eat. So let's get this done.
It's like halfway done, and I'm hungry already, right?
All right.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It smells ridiculous.
Oye, man.
All right, let's put the rest of the ingredients and let's get this cooking.
At this point, all you need to do is just throw everything in there and cook it down
All right.
for like another
You know what?
3 minutes or so.
I'll put the chicken. You can put the corn.
Okay.
First, I'm going to just put the chicken in. And this chicken is going to cook thoroughly in this sauce, and just all those flavors are going to just... I can't even talk because my mouth is watering so much.
Yours. I practically have a swimming pool in my mouth. Okay, that was a bit corny. Oh, wait, that was corny. Eso estaba corny.
All right.
All right.
Oh my goodness. This smells ridiculous.
All right, now I'm going to throw in the peppers.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw in the corn.
All right, you do that.
Okay. All right, and then at this point, just cook it down for another 3 minutes or so.
And then we'll put the lime in last. We're just going to put the juice of a lime in, and that's really going to add a little bit of freshness, plus it's going to help the tomatoes be a little that tangy that we're missing
yes.
from the tomatillos.
From the tomatillos, exactly.
But I have to tell you, George,
I'm looking at that.
this is impressive looking.
You got to zoom in on this because this is really, really good. I mean, see, I'm ready to like stick my whole hand in there, my big old bare hand in there. Okay.
Okay, George, I think it's ready.
It looks ready.
Woo, baby!
God, it looks so good.
It looks good. It doesn't necessarily look like chili verde.
No,
because it's not green. I'm going to take it off the flame. No, but what I do love about it is it's kind of our Spanglish take on chili verde, which is what cooking is all about. It's about experimenting, using authentic flavors, really experimenting with your food. If you don't like cilantro, use parsley. If you like cilantro, definitely use it because it's
authentic. And
that's very authentic. Right. Okay, so I want to, before we taste, we have to put some lime juice in it, which also isn't in the regular recipe. But this is going to help with the tanginess because we didn't use the tomatillo.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm just going to squeeze this on my hand so I can catch any of the little seeds if there are any in there. I'm going to use the juice of half of a lime.
Perfect.
All right.
That smells so delicious.
Can
I do the honors of stirring it at least?
Yes, please stir it, please.
Now that you've altered my recipe.
I really have altered your recipe quite a bit.
I got to make sure it's GA. What's GA again, you ask? I'll tell you.
Okay.
George approved. All
right,
I think we're ready, shall we?
I want to taste this so badly, you have no idea.
Carajo.
I want to make sure I get some corn in my bite and everything.
Oh, I'm going to follow your lead here.
Woo.
And the pepper smells so good, I can smell the smokiness of it. Oh my God. Ready?
It
1,
smells so
2,
good.
3. Oh my God.
Wow.
I have to tell you,
it's really yummy.
This is very yummy. I mean, the bay leaf in it comes out nice. It's almost like it's mocking the cilantro in it.
Right?
Yeah, and the lime juice, it just makes it fresh and it gives it a nice...
A nice little tang. I love parsley, so I'm loving that flavor. Are you missing the cilantro, George?
I'm actually not missing the cilantro, to tell you the truth.
All right, good.
But
so,
everything else just tastes really, really nice.
First of all, let me just say, thank you very much.
De nada.